You've tuned in to the BAM Pod, brought to you by Black Bear Diner, Chicken Ranch Casino Resort, Mercury Marine, Vexus Boats, StoreQuest Storage Solutions, Pasco Technologies, and Tackle Warehouse. Now, kick back and enjoy the next great episode of the BAM Pod.
Ever struggled to navigate shallow waters without damaging your boat? Realize your boat's potential with outboard motor performance products from Bob's Machine, an award-winning world leader in the marine industry since 1978. With over 45 years of dedication to quality, Bob's Machine offers innovative hydraulic transom jack plates and accessories for your boat.
Take the plunge and jump into new favorites at Black Bear Diner. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner, we've got you covered.
Good old-fashioned family food, Black Bear Diner.
All right, welcome in, everybody, to the BAM Pod. I'm your host, Big Ed. And you know what? Tonight, I went all the way up to the Pacific Northwest. I got the man up there who has done it. He's fishing on our pro circuit, on our pro-am circuit, I should say, looking to make it to the Super 60. Let's bring him in, everybody, Mr. Austin Sandman.
Hey, Ed, how's it going? Thanks for having me.
I love it. Comes in nice and mellow. Hey, you know what, dude? I have been up there. You've been fishing with us for a couple years now. The Pacific Northwest is going on. And you're just one of those guys that, we went out to dinner one night, clicked. I liked it. I said, you know what? I got to get that guy on the show. We got to talk about this whole Pacific Northwest fishing up there, Moses Lake. We had potholes. We got the whole Boardman, the Boardman pool. We've got, now we're going to be, Tri-Cities is our next one. It's going to be the Super 60 coming up very soon, at the end of this month, 31st, August 1st, 2nd. So we're going to be up there for that. So you know what, Austin? That's what I want to talk about, man, we're going to be absolutely July, August. It's summertime. We're going to be doing some summertime bass fishing up there. Let's talk about what it's like to fish on the Columbia River in the summertime. Pacific Northwest, man. It's going to be good, I have a feeling. Let's talk about that right now, man. What's the fishing going to be like in your mind? Tri-Cities, you have talked about this before. This is some good water. People should expect to see. What do you think? You know what? Let's just put this right to bed. What do you think it's going to take to win that thing up there? What do you think? Now, mind you, it's on the last day is cut. Everything goes back to normal. So you only have to predict one day, 5 fish. What do you think is going to take to win?
Oh, man, that's the million-dollar question, right? No, since guys can't lock in the Super 60 and they're going to be stuck to Tri-Cities, I definitely think greenfish are going to play. There's some sneaky spots that greenfish are going to play in. Watch out for a guy like Justin Campbell or Ty Manarola, even Ron Mace. All the local guys up here are going to have a little bit of an advantage, even with having the no pre-fish, just because this part of the river just has some good juice and some spots that you have to know how to run into to get into. And depending on the water flow and all that stuff is going to dictate kind of where guys go. But man, honestly, if I had to say what's going to win it on championship day, I'm going to say you're going to have at least 21 pounds, probably, maybe more. Like someone could easily fluke into a 24, 25 pound bag or bigger, especially if the water's high. And you can get back into some of these largemouth spots, and the largemouth haven't left if the water's been high for a while. So I think you could see some really good bags. Yeah, the only thing that would mess it up, like I said, is if the flows drop or there's not a lot of current or something crazy happens, like huge windstorm like we had last year at the Pro-Am. That obviously can change, but even then we still saw huge bags for largemouth the first day, guys weighing in big largemouth just to one pool down. So that's typically, there's bigger fish up in Tri-Cities in my opinion. Like there is big ones down in Boardman, there's huge largemouth down here, but like the average fish above McNary I think is just a little bigger as far as smallmouth goes. You don't see as many of them roaming, but the ones that are up there are bigger.
All right. Well, I wrote that down. 21 to 24. I'm going to give you that little buffer in there. So we're
I'm going to say 21 and a half. Let's 21 and a half.
We'll come back to that, and everybody can listen to the show and go, man, that guy was either right on or what? It took 47. No, I'm just kidding. But it's one of those things, It's there. Yep. I think the one of the funniest parts about the whole Pacific Northwest is, people here in California, people back at a lot of places don't really think about the Pacific Northwest for the fishing possibilities that they have. Off camera, off the show, we talked about some really nice lakes. There's one in there that everybody, you're not the first person to say it. You're probably like the fifth that's talked about this lake, Roosevelt, too. Like it's someplace we need to be going up there. Mark, if you're listening to this show, I know you're not. You're on your way to ICAST, but you're going to be. So he'll come back and listen to it. He's got to write some stuff up about it. So Roosevelt, everybody wants to go to Roosevelt. They say that is the next spot we should be going to. Um, Pro Am Super 60. Which one would you rather see up there?
Either one or both.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, I think it would fit a Super 60 better because you
Okay.
guys don't get to practice. And that's a lake that not a lot of people actually live on. Whereas like Moses Lake, Potholes, Columbia River, Tri-Cities, Boardman, like these are areas where there's large populations of people. Roosevelt, you're not really close to anything other than really small towns. I grew up about 15 minutes from Lake Roosevelt in a little town called Wilbur, Washington. My mom still lives there. They've lived there for 25 years. That town is like a population of like 400 people. Okay.
Wow.
So we're talking really small, but they do have a grocery store. They do have some hotels and stuff. And I mean, like little tiny motels, like not,
Right.
they have a burger joint. They have one bar. Like if you, it's a blink through town type stuff on Highway 2. And there's kind of all these little small towns, but during the summer, it's a touristy spot, right? So you can rent houseboats at Keller Ferry, Seven Bays. There used to be a casino called Two Rivers Casino where the Spokane River meets the Columbia River, and so that's what feeds Lake Roosevelt is the Spokane River and the Columbia River, and then the Grand Coulee Dam is what dams up Lake Roosevelt, and so you've got just it reminds me of Shasta in a way, but
Okay.
even bigger. Like you could run this last weekend in a tournament, I was talking with Ty. He had the Northwest Bass there on Saturday, and him and Jake Boomer got third place, and
Hmm.
they ran 50 miles.
Wow.
So and like they could have even gone further depending on which direction they went. Um, so you can cover a crap load of water. There's largemouth maybe in one spot up one of the arms of the river, maybe, but nobody ever weighs largemouth in. Like when you go there targeting smallmouth, you go there targeting big smallmouth. There's kokanee in that lake. That's one
Mm.
reason why there's big smallmouth. And then, they've got everything else, crawdads, there's perch, there's little tiny trout, little bait fish. It's a river, it's the Columbia River, so it's still got a lot of predator fish though too, like walleye, and now some pike have gotten in there, so they're trying to
Hmm.
take care of that. Because if the pike ever got over the Grand Coulee Dam, it'd be detrimental to our salmon population. Like it would not be a good thing in the Columbia River. So, but also like I honestly think like when the pike came into Roosevelt, the fish got bigger. The smallmouth for
Hmm.
sure got bigger. Like the tournaments we used to have there 15 years ago, you were not catching 24-pound bags of smallmouth back then. Like I remember fishing a club tournament, and it was like in May when fish were spawning, and people caught like 16 pounds, 17 pounds. That was a great bag back then. And now,
Wow.
like Wild West came up a few years ago before they went under, and they had a team deal there, and it was like 24 and a half pounds was first place,
Hmm.
and that's all smallmouth. So yeah, Lake Roosevelt is it's one of those lakes where you can run so far that you can stop and get gas. There's not a lot of places around here that you can do that,
Yeah.
so it's a big spot, and
Wow.
it just really sets up for a lot. Like a guy could power fish with topwater there, a guy could throw a spinnerbait there, a guy could scope there, a guy could drag a Carolina rig there. It could be one on a tube jig, old school fishing. Literally it's old school 101 smallmouth. And then if
Hmm.
you're a scoper, then you get on the right school of fish and no one's around you because that lake is so massive. Like you have a chance at finding something spectacular. Um, and even
Hmm.
if you don't find the spectacular stuff, you can fish the community holes and still fluke into a potential winning bag. That's what's crazy about that lake is like it doesn't matter what part of the lake you're on. There is big ones literally everywhere. I've ran all the way up the Spokane River before, caught 3 over 4 pounds, and then was like, you know what? I had two marked on the other end of the lake down by Spring Canyon. My boat goes 70 plus. I can make it there and I can stop and get gas and I still got time. And I ripped down there and caught two more big ones, ended up getting a top three. And I burned the whole flipping lake, and like for just because I knew those fish were there, and it's so clean that when it's spawning, some of those fish will spawn down in like 15, 20 feet. Like
Wow.
you could honestly flog them if you really wanted to. In certain spots, you could. Um, and then you can go up different parts of these different little tributaries like the Spokane or the Columbia or the San Poel River, which is on the Indian reservation, and you have to have a permit to fish. But some tournaments allow you to do that. They'll allow you to go buy a travel permit and go up there and fish. Other tournaments say it's off limits, but that's one of the best arms. That's one of the ones that I was telling you about, that there may or may not be some largemouth up in there. People have caught them, but I've never seen one weighted in a tournament. But Roosevelt's an epic lake. Living up here, the Pacific Northwest is a hidden gem. I've been saying this for years. I was talking Mark in your ear off last year about coming back up here to
Yep.
Moses Lake, and I wanted to get this thing going up here because potholes was such a good time. And I just knew that Moses Lake, if we could get it at the right time of year, which we did have it at the right time of year, like it showed out big time.
Oh gosh, it did.
Um, I knew that it was going to be a good thing for everyone, for the anglers, for the company, literally for everyone. And what a crazy weekend at Moses, having that windstorm come through. I've lived here my whole life. My family's been here since the 50s farming, and I have never seen anything like that. Neither has my dad. Like that was a hurricane if I've ever seen one. It was
Wow.
insane.
Yeah.
So I was honestly a little shocked to see how well guys caught him on Friday. Because I thought that was going to mess things up. But yeah, we've got some phenomenal lakes here. There's also another lake called Banks Lake. We do a lot of
Hmm.
fishing up there too with other circuits. American Bass has had their Northwest Championship there before. It's a mixed lake. You will catch largemouth, you will catch smallmouth. Either one can play there. And then obviously we've hit the other fisheries now. Um, yeah, if anyone has not came up here and you're thinking about coming up here, I don't know what you're waiting for. How many more tournaments do we have to have up here? How many more big bags do we have to have on all these fisheries? And even if it's not necessarily a huge bag, 16, 17, 18 pounds is quality anywhere you go. Like I would be happy to catch that anywhere you go. Honestly, I would take that. No disrespect to California, but Shasta, wait, you're gonna catch 124, you know, 100 to 24 to 112 to 15-inch spotted bass that shred up your thumbs, and
Yeah.
then one local guy's gonna sack up a monster on a swim bait, like, and it's just I liked Shasta. Don't get me wrong. I really liked Trinity Lake. We never had a tournament there for the pro-ams, but I went down there and fished for fun. That place is amazing. Um, I don't know why they call Clear Lake Clear Lake. It looks like Moses Lake right now in August. It's just disgusting. So, but the fishing was great. I haven't made it down to the Delta yet. I did do a Bass Nation tournament out at Berryessa, which was just a total random trip. I was on a work trip in Arizona, down in Yuma, Arizona, and I had to drive home. And I called my old fishing partner. He said, "Hey, we got a Bass Nation tournament tomorrow, and you're going to be in Sacramento. That's like 40 minutes from Berryessa." He goes, "Dude, you should enter as a co-angler and jump on my boat." So I said, "Oh, dude, I'm already at the Sacramento Sportsman Show right now, working a booth for my guide service and for Pacific Calls and Bosch shot shells." I'm like, "I'll just go over to this little booth here and buy a rod." And I was like, "What's the plan?" So he told me, "Oh, we're going to do, shaky head jigs or something." So I went and bought a new shaky head rod, bought a rain suit because it was supposed to rain. I needed a new one anyways. And I went and fished it off the back of my buddy's boat. I ended up getting third place.
Wow.
Never seen the lake before. Just, it was so fun. But I do love the California lakes, but we're not running out of water up here. That's what's nice, so like we do have
we're not
we
we're not
lower
running
the
we're not
you're not
running
running
out of
now, but
water
it's
down here.
mismanaged.
We're
It's
just
mismanaged. Okay, let me rephrase that. Our
we're just using
water,
it to we're just using it to put out fires.
yeah, our water's not mismanaged up here yet to the point that California is. So we still have, high water in lots of places, and just the variety of fishing up here. I've been saying it for years. I mean, it's no wonder guys like Brandon Polnick and Luke Clausen, some of these OG guys, they're all from this
Oh.
area. Like those dudes, there's a reason why guys like that come out here. And then now that Bam's here, I mean, look at all the talent that the Super 60 has. Look at all the talent, even in the pro-ams, of people that are
Yeah.
just still trying to come up. I mean, it's very competitive. Like anybody could win any one of these things at any time. And I guess that's what I love about Bam, is that anyone could win. I really like the non-shared weight. I've done shared weight tournaments too, and shared
Yep.
weights are fun. But having a not shared weight just puts a whole nother element of debauchery in there, right? Like
Of
a
course.
guy can go off the rails because his co caught a freaking 5-pounder. Dude, I did the numbers last year, and this is going to crack you up. We had what? We had 3 pro-ams last year,
Yes.
Shasta, Boardman, and Potholes.
Correct.
So day 1 of Shasta, I draw a guy named Bill. We called him 1-ton Bill. Well, I start looking at all the Phil's propeller tournaments. This guy is like 75 years old. He's cashing checks on Shasta every day. So he's on my boat, and this guy's just smoking me out of the back, right? And I'm just like, whatever, dude. And he's like, this is a good spot. I don't know how you found this. And I'm like, I just went fishing, Bill. And so, like, I had Bill. Bill ended up making a check in that tournament. The guy I drew on the second day was Randy Marshall, which we all know Randy Marshall.
Yep.
And so Randy and I became homies. He ended up getting 5th place in that tournament. Boom, fast forward to Potholes. I draw the first day a guy named Cameron King.
Mm-hmm.
I'm fishing a frog. Like, everybody that knows me knows I am a frog fisherman, dude. I will throw a frog until I die. I did it this year on Potholes again. I'll do it every year on Potholes. I do not care. I will live or die. I'll go out. You can kill me on that hill all day long. I will throw a frog. And I took this guy back with me. We got into this little sneaky water that nobody was in there. It was just me and him. I sacked up a limit on a frog in like 10 minutes. And I started feeling bad, right? Because I'm used to fishing team tournaments up here. Honestly, that's all we have up here. We don't have any like single tournaments other than maybe Bass Nation or something like that. But even then, sometimes you still have a guy on the back of your boat. Like, very rarely ever by yourself. So I tell this guy, hey, cast up in that little corner right there. Go for it. Like, not thinking anything of it. He casts up there and catches a 4.6 on a frog. I'm going, oh my gosh, dude, I had like 16 pounds. That one right there would have for sure secured me into the second day or into the championship Sunday, like no
Yeah.
problem. And this was on day 1. That's how crucial every bite was on Potholes at that time of year, especially big fish like that. And so he gets it in the boat, and I was retying or something. I think I was switching out my frogs to a popper frog. And he gets it in the boat, and he looks at me again. He goes, hey, do you care if I make another cast in there again? And I say, no, go ahead, man. It's all good. Like, I'm in my own little world right now trying to tie my frog. I don't care. You know, I'm thinking there's going to be a million fish. He tosses back in the exact same spot, pops it twice. Another 4.2-pounder eats it. And I'm going, oh my goodness, right? Well, those 2 fish got him to the championship Sunday. So now that's my 3rd co-angler that has made a check at a pro-am. I still have not made a check at a pro-am at this point, okay? So then we go down to freaking Boardman. I draw another guy the first day. We had a super fun day. Everybody caught fish. But I had a terrible day. Like, I did not do well at all. And so I was out of it. I was honestly like, and this is the one and only time I'll ever say that I was going to do this because I am not the type of person that leaves early or anything. But dude, I saw the weather forecast and I was like, I'm not going to, I'm out of it. I'm not going to qualify for the championship. There's no possible way for me to make a comeback in this tournament at all. So I was like, I might just go home. Like, I had stuff to do home. I had farming stuff going on. Like, we were right in the middle of harvest. Like, I had stuff to do. But then I got a text message from Michael. Hey, you drew Randy freaking again. So I got Randy again, dude. And this is on the last day because, we had to skip a day because of the weather. And
Right.
so this was actually championship Sunday. So Randy called me. I told Randy, hey, bud, like, I'm staying here to fish with you. You're my boy. I said, we're just going to go. We're going to fish for you today. Don't worry about me. Like, we're going to fish for you. So we went up and freaking Randy sacked him, dude. And he won the tournament and won Angler of the Year. And it was the most funnest thing I ever been a part of. And I didn't even win. Like, I won nothing. But it was so much fun, dude. And yeah, I mean, that's what I loved about the pro-ams, dude. Me and Randy became friends. I became friends with all these co-anglers, right? Tommy Rice was a co-angler of mine on Potholes. I love that guy, dude. I call him the little urban cowboy, man. That little
Right.
guy is so awesome. And I say little like I'm tall. Like I'm barely taller than him. I'm a little guy too, but he was so much fun, dude. I still talk to Tommy all the time. He comes up here and fishes the pro-ams with us. And so, that's what I loved about the pro-ams. But yeah, we just got some fisheries around here that are not well known, and I kind of like that they're not well known. But also, I want to see the circuit expand. I want to see the opportunities expand for people in these lakes in this area. So, yeah, people need to get up here and see what we have going on because it's pretty impressive. And I've fished all over the place now at this point, and you know, we've got some really good stuff going on up here that is not well known at all.
Well, I can tell everybody right now that was Austin Sandman's push for the Pacific Northwest. He's telling you right now, there's great fisheries up there. If you're listening, you want to go to Roosevelt, that's another spot he's talking about. But let's pivot just a little bit back. We've got Tri-Cities coming up, Super 60. Then we're going to be down at the Pro-Ams on Boardman, Oregon. Let's talk about the fishing a little bit. Let's talk about what these guys should be gearing up for. What should they be looking for? It's going to be hot. It's going to be July. It's going to be August. If you're throwing something and you're going into this thing on Tri-Cities, tell me what your five rods are rigged with right now to go up there and fish, man. To go fish
I
Tri-Cities
honestly don't.
up in that pool.
I don't even think I would have five rods, Ed. I mean, I like to
Okay.
keep it. I like to keep it simple. If you
Okay,
see me,
but I'm gonna make you take the frog rod out.
I'm still gonna throw it. It's gonna play up there. It could play up there in these back bays and in these coves and in some of these marinas and some of these rivers and some of these areas. The largemouth are there, so a frog could play. But if I'm throwing topwater, which I would be throwing topwater, I'm gonna have probably just a good old fashioned Zara Super Spook.
Okay.
And if they're not hitting that or they're slapping it or they're doing something weird with it, then I'm probably just going to downsize to some type of popper, maybe something that's just a little slower. Otherwise, I'm probably just going to be drop shotting some type of bait with my forward facing sonar because that's going to play up here that time of year. I think a combination of power fishing and finesse fishing with forward facing sonar is going to play. A minnow bait will work very well. And then someone could also get on an old school jig bite or a Carolina rig bite. I've had very good luck dragging around a lizard on a Carolina rig on the
Okay.
river. Smallmouth love lizards. I don't know what it is about them, but that's like a little juice that not a lot of people realize is you can go out in 25 feet, find some rock and drag around a lizard and you will catch some good fish. Like there was a couple tournaments, club tournaments where I had an older boat. This was back before I had any type of money at all. I mean, I still don't have money, but I had no money at that time, right? And so like I had a trolling motor that sucked and that thing just sucked. I knew it was not going to last, and so we would just big motor up to the top of this flat and just drift it down with the current and just drag sea rigs, and we ended up catching like 17 pounds doing that. So,
Nice.
yeah, there's stuff to do, but yeah, I think really, your forward facing baits, a guy could get on a very good spinner bait bite. There's lots of weed lines, and then also a crankbait. You could get lucky
Okay.
and catch a good fish on a crankbait. If someone finds a school offshore out in the channel, they could get lucky with like an A rig. Because they're going to be chasing bait right now. I mean, we just had
Okay.
the salmon smolt run coming through. So baby Chinook, baby steelhead, coho, sockeye, all those salmon are ripping down the river right now trying to get out to the ocean. And they're roughly 3 to 5 inches long. Some of them are a little bigger than that. Some of them look like an 8-inch Huddleston. But
Hmm.
so a swim bait could play too. Like that's the thing. It's the river. It's smallmouth. Basically, any smallmouth bait could play. My advice would be fish what you're confident in, and that's what's going to do it for you. If a guy can stay confident in his technique and get on the right fish and just really grind it out. I mean, look at what Ronnie did last year. He's the only guy. He was confident in what he was doing and he stayed true to his plan and he won that tournament and he
Yep.
outright won it. So,
Yep.
you know, that for me, I don't know. I watch Jason Christie a lot. I think Jason Christie's a legit angler. And one of Jason Christie's best piece of advice that I ever heard him was just ride the horse that got you there, right? And so I think there's a lot of people that on championship Sunday or, a 2-day tournament, let's say, they don't want to ride the horse that they got in there on. They get caught up in the dock talk. They get caught up in the, oh, this guy, I saw he was fishing over here. This dude was fishing over here. And that's what gets you in trouble. So I
Yep.
think the guys that stay true to themselves are going to have a really good shot at winning that tournament.
All right. I mean, that's the information that I think a lot of guys are going to go into this with. I think last year, Ron really, like you said, really proved that, what you stick with what you do. I mean, he was doing some stuff that I don't think anybody else would have ever found. I mean, fishing in water that was, I don't know how many times he said, I was really surprised that I didn't see more fins coming out of the backs. He goes, I saw a few though, fishing in super shallow water and then fishing like that. It's a way that, I don't think a lot of people really would have thought about fishing on the river like that, especially with how deep it gets right there. Plus the fact that there's so much offshore grass up there. When you're in the Boardman pool It's like these really nice grass pods you come to. You see all this good stuff. Throw baits past them. 8, 9, 10 bass are coming after it. Is it the same kind of way when you go upriver and you're up by the Tri Cities and that pool up there? What's that pool called? That's what we do. Is it the Tri
McNary.
Cities pool?
That's
McNary.
McNary. Yep.
Okay,
So
so you
the
go up to the
McNary
McNary.
pool,
Is it the same way?
McNary pool is very interesting because you got
Okay.
the part right above the dam at Hat Rock. So like just above where we launched in Boardman, right above the dam. It's almost like a bathtub. This is like what a lot of people don't realize about a river that's dammed up. All that current comes down, it hits a big dam like that. That water swirls back and actually starts coming back up the river. So the
Okay.
closer you get to the dam as you're going down river, actually the less the flow is. You start going up towards Tri Cities, more like out of Columbia Point where you guys are launching, and there's a lot of current ripping through there.
Mm.
You will see guys run up the Hanford Reach, what they call the Hanford Reach. So when you guys launch at Columbia Point, probably 60 to 80% of the people are going to immediately turn right and head downriver and go
Okay.
underneath the bridge. And some guys are going to stop at the Yakima Delta and fish right at the mouth of the Yakima where it meets the Columbia. And then a bunch of guys are going to rip down and fish by Burbank and up the Snake River and Wallula. And yeah, Lake Wallula is from McNary Dam up to Priest Rapids Dam. But there will be a couple people. I'm not going to say their names because I don't need to. But let me just say this. One of the guys last year who showed everyone that you can do it, doing it your way, might go do it his way somewhere else again. And you guys might not even be able to find him depending on where he goes. So uh, there is some spots like that. Now, the reach where I'm talking about way up there
Hmm.
is very sketchy to run. It
Okay.
is not a sand bottom. It is super, super sketch. Parts of it are not marked at all. There's no mapping, no nothing. This is up by the Hanford Nuclear Reservation.
Okay.
So um, the locals are going to have an advantage if guys go up there to do that. It's going to be a local guy or someone that's came down and pre-practiced and figured that out. But most people are going to run downriver. Um, yeah, and you're going to see guys fishing their strengths. You're going to see people fishing stuff that probably local people didn't know fish were at. That's what's cool about bringing up these guys from California and all over is that you get to see different strategies. And I always love seeing people not from my home lakes go fish my home lakes because I can be like, oh my gosh, that makes so much sense. I don't know why I never thought of that. This dude totally exposed something that nobody else knew, right? And so,
Right.
um, yeah, I think it's going to be a very good tournament. I think you guys are going to have a lot of fun. Tri Cities, I personally like staying there better than Boardman. No disrespect to
Hmm.
Boardman, but Tri Cities just has a lot more to go to offer for like the guys' wives and their girlfriends and stuff. If they want to bring their family up and stuff, there's just a little more stuff to do in Tri Cities. So I think you know,
Good.
good play for everyone going out of Tri Cities for sure.
Well, that'll be awesome. It's one of those things. I'm not one of the wives or anything, but I am the MC, and I'm telling you, I'll be up there for that event and getting out of and going to do stuff up there. It should be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to seeing a new part that I haven't. I've been through there. I drove through there. Saw some really cool things. There's some things I want to go check out again. But yeah, it was definitely a nice area. Uh, we've talked a little bit about the baits. We've talked about the fish, and I think it's going to be a good tournament. I think what guys are going to be looking at. It's a Super 60 event, like you said. There's always that guy who's comes out of nowhere who just finds that something. And there's a reason why they've made it to the top level on the West Coast. It's because they are some of the best fishermen, not only on the West Coast but across the country. I mean, you've got guys that are fishing everywhere that have done great everywhere they go, and you have some really big names, and they always rise to the occasion and come up and fish these waterways. When it comes down to, you're going to be, this is all Eastern Washington area. We've got this sort of thing. Let's talk a little bit about, we've got about a half hour left in the show. So let's talk a little bit about you now. We've got some of your background, but off the air, guys didn't get, you don't get to hear some of the stuff we talk about. We have, Austin is a guy, it's very interesting how he kind of came up. And let's just talk about that. You came up in this sport, you're an angler, you want to be a fisherman, you want to go on and fish the Super 60 events, you want to make that elite level and fish at that high level that's out here. But where did you really start? I mean, you talked a little bit about the farming and that sort of thing. You had some really cool stories that you talked about, and I'd love to share some of those with everybody about how much you are dedicated to not only the fishing, but you're off, what you do for a living right now, because fishing is, it is it's not always the most profitable, can be, but you know what, you came up in what, farming, you said, right? So let's
Yep.
talk a little bit about that, about who you are and how you kind of come up with that, and tell us a couple of those little random stories you had there.
Yeah, so I guess I'll just start with my family. Moved to Moses Lake in like 1959. We started a farm out here. My grandfather started it with my grandmother. They had three kids. My dad's the youngest of three. And so we still have the family farm to this day. My grandpa passed away a year ago in March. So,
Hmm.
RIP to him, miss him every day. But my grandpa was a diehard trout fisherman. Like my grandpa made fun of me for fishing for bass. He loved trout fishing. We'd take a summer trip every year and go up to the North Cascade Mountains to these remote lakes, and we just go catch rainbow trout. So ever since I was a little tiny kid, like I just loved fishing. But I didn't grow up in a family like my dad did not have a bass boat. Okay. You hear all these bass anglers talking about, oh, I remember watching Bassmasters as a kid, all this stuff. Dude, I wasn't doing that. I was on a tractor baling hay. I was out fixing a circle. I was out riding my dirt bike, checking wheel lines. Like I was out doing farming stuff. We were working. So I went fishing. The extent of my tournament fishing honestly didn't even start until I was 19 years old. I fished my first tournament when I was 19. I fished it out of a boat that I borrowed from my buddy. That was a duck hunting boat. It was a jet drive boat, and I made my own live well out of an igloo ice chest, and I used that live well for 4 years while we fished out of this duck boat. Um, it had a 40 horse Johnson Evinrude tiller steer on the back. We did not have a fish finder. We did have a bow mount trolling motor, but we had no electronics. So I grew up fishing old school. Like I used to triangulate stuff, oh, that red house right there with the red roof. Okay, over here on the south bank, this white pump house. Okay, now I'm looking north, see that telephone pole there? And then I look to the south, oh, that rock. When I came back to that spot in a tournament, I would try to triangulate like that because I did not have the technology. I didn't have an iPhone. I got my first cell phone when I was 16 years old. It was a flip phone. My dad told me I didn't have any need for a cell phone until I had the need to drive myself. So I grew up old school, man. Just totally different, right? Like work came first. So that's what I was telling Ed a little bit about. I'm the guy that I had to work for everything that I had. Okay. I wasn't given a boat from my dad, or I didn't have daddy's money, all this crazy stuff that no disrespect to people that have great families. I think that's super awesome. And if I had the means to do that for my kid, I would absolutely do that. But not everybody has that, right? So for me, I like to think of myself as like the grassroots guy. Like I started out at the local club level fishing potholes bass club tournaments. I was 19 years old. I had no freaking clue what I was doing. I met a guy at the boat launch named Rob Maglio. Shout out to Rob Maglio. He doesn't even fish tournaments anymore, but he should. He's a freaking hammer. He could easily qualify for the Super 60 if he got back into it. So if Rob ever listens to this, thank you, Rob, and his buddy Carlos. Those two guys took me for a ride on their little 18-foot Skeeter with the 175 Yamaha show on the back, or VMAX, or what, I think it was a VMAX, like an old two-stroke VMAX. And we were going like 75, dude. And that's what got me hooked right there. Like that one bass boat ride, I was like, this is for me. Like I knew right then and there, like I want to do this. And so I didn't have the money, right? Like I also have a hunting guide service. So I was super focused on building up that business. I dropped out of college at age 19. Like I could have went and finished school. I went to Washington State University for 2 years. I loved that school. It was great, but I was just not having a good time. Like I was partying and I wasn't going to school, wasn't doing anything that I should have been doing. So I left. I went to work for a huge farmer, and then that's kind of what led me into farming. And I've been farming for like the last 15 years. I recently just took a new job with PUD in fish and wildlife, which goes hand in hand with my fishing and hunting obsession. But back to then, I was still trying to build up this business. My hunting is my passion; it still is, but fishing has kind of surpassed hunting now because fishing is more of a personal thing for me now. This goal of trying to make the Super 60, honestly, is kind of just taken over. But I still own the business. We still do guiding. We still do all that stuff. So I used to take my bass boat. I had a 1986 Champion. 18 foot with a 175 original 1986 Mercury silver. And I used to freaking take that thing. I'd go into the circles. I'd drop my boat on the edge of the field, rip in there, start my water, check my fields at 3 a.m. and go. And sometimes I'd have a problem, so I'd have the tournament director. I'm going to be at that tournament, but I'm going to be running 2 hours late and I'm going to be covered in mud. But can somebody meet me at the dock? I'll call you when I get there. You can check my boat and I'll go. Just let them skip my number, but I will be there. And, thank you to those tournament directors for working with me because I was just a working man. And so that's one thing I loved about some of these other circuits was that they had 2-day tournaments that were 2 separate tournaments. So if a guy couldn't make Saturday, he could still go fish Sunday.
What the flock are you waiting for? California's newest luxury entertainment destination, Chicken Ranch Casino Resort, is ready to play. Experience laid-back luxury in our modern hotel, a casino floor with views of the Sierra, and diverse restaurants and bars that'll keep you squawking for more. Experience the all-new Chicken Ranch Casino Resort, located just 60 minutes from Yosemite National Park. Visit playchickenranch.com to book your trip today.
Okay, so yeah, so I'm so crazy. Yeah, I'm so crazy that, I would fish 2-day tournaments and miss the first day completely. Like just literally call the tournament director and say, "Hey, I'm not going to be there the first day." And this isn't big bass tournaments, right? Where they weigh in a fish every hour and it's 2 days worth and then the biggest one takes it over. I literally, hey, I got to work Saturday. I will be there Sunday. I don't care that I'm limiting myself to, you know, way less chances. I don't care. I'm going to be there. I want to fish when I have my one day off to fish this weekend, right? So I started winning some tournaments locally, stepped it up to ABA, won Angler of the Year in ABA, started fishing Northwest Bass, started making top 10s, top 5s, top 3s. And then we didn't really have anything else to fish up here. Like a guy needed to go travel. You had to go to do one bass at Lake Mead or Havasu or something. And I'm a working man. I did not have the funds to do that. So when Wild West came up here, that was super cool because it was like, hey, here's some people coming from California, trying to promote some stuff up here for us. And it didn't work out in the end, but at least they tried, right? And like those tournaments were fun for us at that time because we didn't have anything like that. And so yeah, then BAM started coming up here and I jumped right on that. And last year I did not have the best year. I had a great year for co-anglers. My co's all did awesome. I did not have a good year last year and didn't let it get me discouraged. There was a chance I could have maybe got asked to fish the Super 60, but I wasn't really counting on it. So I kind of just knew I was going to have to qualify. Like that was always my thought to begin with. And if I got asked, great. But I didn't get asked. And so I was like, well, you just got to buckle down. And I went down to Shasta and I've fished Shasta before, but like it's always got my number. Like I always know I'm not going to do good down there. Even if I have a good practice, somehow it's just not going to work out. And so I busted my butt and tried to make it, but I didn't make it. So then this year, kind of same thing. Like, hey, I got to qualify for this. This is my goal. And just trying to work hard and still working a lot. Like I work 40 hours a week, if not more, at my regular job. And then, I have my own business, so I'm still doing that too on the side. So I try to fish when I can and make the most of it. I think that's the one thing, that's what's attracted me about the Super 60 though, is that there is no pre-fishing. So I feel like I have a shot if I make it there because nobody else has been out there for 4 days before me, figuring it out. Everyone's on a level playing field. And so that's really what attracted me to try to make that. But yeah, I just kind of grew up fishing for trout. We had a little 9.8 horse Mercury, a little aluminum boat, and my dad would let us take it down to the swamps down here off Dotson Road. But I didn't grow up idolizing bass fishing. I didn't know who Kevin Van Dam even was until I started fishing tournaments. I mean, and I'm a diehard bass guy now, like through and through, but like I just didn't grow up in that household. That wasn't my thing. We were always out hunting, we were always out fishing, but we were never glued to the TV or, I didn't read about bass fishing. So yeah, I just think of myself as the working fisherman and I'm still working, still trying to get up there. Lucky I've had some good finishes here recently. I still would like to do better. I mean, shoot, I had one of the biggest bags on the second day at Moses, but I just fell apart on the first day. And that seems to be kind of the story of my BAM tournaments, even potholes. Like I just barely missed it both years. Like one year I was in the top 10 after the first day and then barely fell out. And then this year I was right out of it and then just still barely missed it. And so, I'm just going to keep working and just hopefully, it works out. But I'm looking forward to Boardman. I do love the river. It's fun. Anything can happen for anyone down there. And the fact that we can get to Lock 2 and go up to Tri-Cities always makes it fun. So yeah. Um, yeah, that's kind of how I got into
Mhm.
it. I got lucky and got in with some guys that were diehard tournament dudes, and thanks to them, like I said, for doing that. But before we go, I'd just like to say there's a couple dudes
Mm.
up here. My buddy Jordan Doucette, that's a dude right there. This guy is a hammer. His partner Chad Eidson. These dudes win more money than anybody. Taylor Smith, that guy wins more money than anybody up here. I mean, these guys take guys' money all the time. They're not doing the BAMs yet. I would love to see those guys come out here and fish. So if they watch this, I hope that they come out and fish. I love competing against those guys. I want the best competition up here to fish. Um, and I think it will help grow this deal. I also hope BAM doesn't get discouraged because the first 2 years, maybe our numbers haven't been what we've been wanting, but things are going in the right direction, I think. And I think you can see it. I've been a part of it, now for 2 years, and even before it came here, like seeing what other people have done and seeing what BAM's been able to accomplish just in 2 years, I think, give us another 2 years. Let's get some more stuff figured out. And Mark and Michael and you, I think everything you guys are doing is good right now. And I just see, you know, very good things in the future. So, local anglers, guys in the Potholes Bass Club, come on, guys. We're having tournaments on Potholes, Moses Lake. You guys are all hammers. You all know who you are. Come out, come fish this stuff. Even if you fish as a co,
Mm.
I don't know how many people I've told this to. Come fish as a co. Come see what it's all about. The
Mhm.
co-anglers have a great time too, and you're still fishing for some really good money. And you even get exposure on your guys' Facebook, your social media, your YouTube, everything. Um, you know, and who knows where Mark takes the scene in the future. Maybe somehow he figures out how to get it to where it ties in as a qualifier for something like the Bassmaster Classic. That could very well be a possibility. That's what's so cool about this circuit, is that there is so much stuff on the future and on the horizons, and the possibilities are endless, really. um these other bass organizations, excluding American
Mhm.
Bass, have abandoned the West Coast. Like, thanks to Billy at One Bass for doing what he does, thanks to BAM for doing what they do, and American Bass, because Bassmasters and MLF and all this stuff, like they've
Yep.
kind of abandoned us out here. So I really hope that people take advantage of these opportunities. And again, thank you to you guys. Thanks to BAM for giving people like me, just a working man who loves to fish, a chance to tell my story a little bit. And I mean, we could sit here and talk for hours. People have always told me I could just keep talking, but we can't do that. So, thank you guys for letting people like me have a shot at doing something and have a shot at just telling your story. And hopefully this inspires someone that's sitting at their house thinking about maybe fishing a tournament, or even a tournament guy who maybe is thinking about hanging up his hat and not fishing anymore because it hasn't gone your way. Look, just when you think it's not going your way, something's going to happen and you're going to catch a big one, or you're going to win that first tournament. I remember trying to win that first tournament for so long, even at the club level. It is so hard to win,
Mhm.
even at a club level. Like, celebrate every little victory, man, because you can burn yourself out if you're not. Um, that's probably my biggest piece of advice with tournament fishing, is just celebrate the little victories on the days that we're not necessarily victorious. Like, Moses Lake for me has been so good to me, but also so bad to me. And the pro am was exactly like that, dude. We had that storm come through. It kind of messed me up mentally. I went back into my area. There was only one boat back there, but none of us were really catching them. So I kind of bailed on it super early. Well, then day two, I just told myself, you're an idiot. Go back there, stay in there the whole day, do your deal. And I had like the third or fourth biggest bag and missed the cut and jumped up like 16 places and almost made the top 10. So, you know, just take chances, celebrate those small victories. I was so stoked on just even having a 20-pound bag. Like, dude, not very often do you catch 20-pound bags by yourself, let alone on Moses Lake when guys were catching 20 to 24 every day. Like, it was getting pressure. Moses isn't that big of a lake. So just celebrate the small victories. Don't burn yourself out. And just
Mhm.
remember, it's just fishing. Like we're supposed to be having fun. I listen to music on my boat every tournament. My co-anglers love it. I bring out my turtle box. We blast freaking Led Zeppelin and Metallica and whatever, man. I'll play some freaking ASAP Rocky or what, like we'll play anything. I'll play some old Hank. I mean, it's fun. So like that's what this should be. It should be fun. You should want to take some risks.
Right.
And that's kind of just the way I fish, Ed. Like I'm fishing to win. I'm not fishing for a check. I'm not fishing to try to make just to barely make it. Like every time I go out there, I want to win. I don't care where we are. I don't care who we're fishing against. I want to win. And so I'm just going to keep working super hard. Keep keeping on, brother. That's all I can do.
We're going to take a short commercial break and talk to you about one of our great sponsors, StoreQuest Self Storage. They're here to help you get your garage back. As an outdoor enthusiast, you have gear, lots of expensive gear, equipment, boats, trailers, and vehicles, probably all stored in your garage. You need a storage space that's easy to access, secure, and climate controlled. And that's where StoreQuest comes in. Head over to storequest.com. Plus, members receive an exclusive 10% discount with the offer code BAM10. That's BAM 10. StoreQuest is the official self-storage partner of the BAM Tournament Trail. Now, back to the BAM Pod.
It's the moment when everything is on the line and precision, power, and control make all the difference. A moment over 20 years in the making, anchored on loyalty, trust, and support that goes beyond all expectations. A relentless pursuit of perfection. All born from a revolutionary idea to help you rule the water. Power Pole.
Yeah, this is exactly why I wanted to have him on the show. The passion for this sport right here. He shows it, he brings it. We talked a little bit about fishing, which is always what the show is kind of about. Let's talk about some fishing, but let's talk about it and listen to this. And guys up there in the Pacific Northwest, guys in Washington, Idaho, Oregon, all, everywhere out there, I want you to understand something. We talked about this a week ago. I called Austin and I said, "Hey, you know what I want? I want some representation for the Pacific Northwest. I want somebody to come on here that is pretty well known up there, but at the same time, is still that working class guy. If you're out there, I can't tell you, I can't speak for Mark. I'm going to anyways, but I can't. It takes participation. It takes money. It takes effort. Now, I will give it to Mark. He is always going to put the effort out. He is going to be there for you. If you show up, you show out, and you bring your numbers. You go, you know what, guys, get together as a group, mentally chat it out and say, you know what, we need to support these guys. We want them back. We want them to keep coming. The only way we can keep coming up there, the only way we can support you, the only way we can give you the opportunities that Austin has just talked about. I mean, being on a show like this, yeah, you're going to be out there. People are going to hear you from all over the world. People are going to be talking about you everywhere. You're going to have your social media. You're going to have your growth. You're going to get more sponsors. You're going to get more people knowing who you are. That's what this whole event is about, is coming out here, being on the BAM Trail. It's going to be a West Coast. This is it, man. This is the premier event. You want to be a part of something? Come be a part of these guys. Make your way up there and show that, you know what? The Pacific Northwest has guys that can be on the Super 60. The Super 60 is looking for you. All you got to do, get off the couch, fire up the boat, get on your water, go out there, qualify, and be a part of this whole thing. Come around and make it. You know what? It's only money. What are you going to do? Die rich? That ain't going to happen. Come on. Let's just do this, Go out here, get your money out there, get it on the table, show the world who you are
Right,
and what
right.
you are, and do it right here on BAM. This is what we're all about. I said something in there about sponsors, social media. That's the only thing that you haven't said anything about right now, Austin. you got social media, and I know you got sponsors. So let's talk a little bit about it, and let's get it there.
Yeah. I mean, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it, Ed. No, let's talk about it. I do, but my sponsors are not going to be what you think. Like, again, I'm a working man, dude. So I don't really have a lot to offer a lot of sponsors right now because I'm working. So my sponsors are Double Barrel Ranch, who's another guide service, another hardworking dude who's one of my best friends who has probably the best upland bird ranch in Eastern Washington, out of Spokane, Washington. Jason Olmsted is his name. Look up the Double Barrel Ranch. They have amazing lodging. You're in the rolling Palouse wheat fields right at the base of the mountains over, but kind of by like Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, but you're in the farm country, so you can see all that stuff. Super beautiful. They're a great sponsor of mine. Concretes, coatings, restoration. My buddy Ashton Payne here locally in Moses Lake, he also guides for my guide service. He's been a tremendous help. He was my tournament partner in Northwest Bass last year. He's never fished a tournament in his life, but he said, "Hey, you're running my logo on the side of your boat. I want to see what this
Awesome.
is all about." And he loved it. He took his son. Now they're fishing tournaments together, his father and son, and doing club stuff. So I've been super thankful for him. If you want to get concrete stamping done or finishing, they do amazing shop floors with flake and non-stick and all kinds of just super cool colors. They can do custom stuff. They did a custom logo for my dad at his house with a Washington State logo. Like they can just do all kinds of stuff and they're local. I like keeping my money local. I want to help out my friends. I'm not going to ask my friends for discounts. Like, what do you charge for your service? That's what I want to pay. That's how you help out your buddies with small businesses. Don't try to heckle them. Don't try to nickel and dime small business owners that are your friends. Okay. Try to promote their business. Try to help them. Stick 5 rods and live fishing. Matt Milatz, another local guy up here that now moved to Texas, but he took a chance on me. He helps me out with rods and he helps me out with literally whatever I need help with as far as terminal tackle and rod sleeves and rods. And I can't thank Matt enough for that. So, you know, I try to just keep my circle small, Ed. In today's world, I think there's a lot of fake people out there. There's a lot of people that are your friends when they want something from you, but when you're down in the dumps or you need something, they might not reciprocate that. Um, Also, I got to give a shout out to Ty Manarola and Dave Manarola at Manarola Hay Farms. Dave hooked me up. He's helped me out a lot in fishing and helped me get to where I am and helped me enter some tournaments and paid my entries for me. And, you know, I call Ty my nephew. Everyone knows that. We're not actually related. Okay. I was Ty's boat captain when he was in high school. And I just kind of took Ty under my wing when he was a kid. And just, we used to fish team tournaments together when he was just a little guy, you know. I mean, he's still a little skinny guy, but he's a dad now. So I can't really think of him as a little guy anymore, but he's my nephew. And that's just, you know, keeping your circle small is not necessarily a bad thing, but also being nice to everyone and being respectful of everyone and just trying to be a good person. And you know, I think everybody that I fish against knows that if they ever needed something, I'd be willing to help them out, no matter who it is. I mean, last year when I was pre-fishing for the pro am at Boardman, I ended up towing a guy back into the dock on the last day of pre-fish, like 20 miles, because he couldn't get back. Like, karma's a real thing, and you know, that's just kind of the way I try to live my life is just karma's real and just, you know, do your thing. But Honk Stomper Guide Service, that's my company. Um, yeah, I mean, I've kind of like I said, I'm kind of just a working mad Ed. So I don't really have to kiss a bunch of people's butts and say thank you to a bunch of people because there's only been a few people that have been willing to take a chance on me. And, you know, I'm kind of used to that. So, if there's anyone else out there watching, you know, definitely go check out my Facebook, check out my Instagram. I do a pretty good job of posting
Mhm.
stuff. I just posted a pretty fun video from last weekend on potholes in the ABA, cracking some fish on a frog, and I'm trying to be better about that stuff. I got these sweet meta glasses now, so I'm actually able to film some stuff. But my mentality, even in hunting guiding, Ed, has always been like the best hunters are not out there on TV and social media, excluding a few of them. Like the real guys are in the trenches, you know, making it work and getting their clients animals. And that's kind of the same feeling I took towards fishing. Like I miss when the guys that won were the guys that, you know, got up there and made money and stuff. And unfortunately, I understand that's not really the way it is anymore. And there is this business side to it. But I just, I think there's still an avenue potentially for someone to just kick everyone's butt and just be a really good fisherman. And not everybody wants to be a promotional fisherman because, you know, yes, everyone here is pro staff. That doesn't mean you're a professional, in my opinion. It just means you're a promoter. And I love promoting the people that I think deserve it. And I'm not going to kiss someone's butt that I don't think I should be. And kind of that's just the way I roll. So, yeah, if anyone out there wants to be a part of of any of it, hit me up. I would love to
Nice.
go do some videos with people. I'd love to collaborate with some people and but yeah, I'm just old school, Ed. I like fishing. So I'm just here to fish. I love the competition and I love the camaraderie. I love meeting all you guys and all these new co's and all the people. I do it just because I enjoy
Yeah.
the whole aspect of tournament fishing. Like at the end of the day, it's not a money thing for me. It never has been a
Well,
money
I mean,
thing
you
for
grew up as a
me.
farmer, right? It can't
It's
ever be
it's
about
just a
money,
straight up competition fishing and just being out there, and I just love it.
My whole family grew up being miners, and that's why we're still poor to this day.
Right? Yeah,
But it's one of the
exactly,
it's one of those
exactly,
things that
exactly.
I love everything you said, man. I absolutely stand behind that. You
Yep.
go out there, you go fishing, and that's what it's all about is being a part of it, being out there and doing this thing. If you actually love it, you'll be out there doing it. The money doesn't mean that much. Do it.
Yeah, and I do need to drop one more sponsor, and they're not even like necessarily a true sponsor of mine, but Pacific Tackle Company. If you're an urchin guy, which everybody's looking for these urchin baits right now, Pack Tack. That's my buddy Alex Yurgis and my buddy Trevor Austin with Pacific Calls. Um, they do sponsor me a little bit by giving me baits and stuff, but I haven't asked them for a sponsorship or anything like that. But I genuinely just want to promote their business because they're my buddies and they're good people and they're making amazing baits. Uh, you know, look them up, man. Like, look up these local companies. Big Hog Bait Company, that's another local guy here. Pacific Northwest Bass Candy. All these people are local companies up here that need people to promote them. Aaron Eckernkamp, Eastern Washington Guide Service. Look him up. Like, these guys are all my friends. These guys are all really good at what they do. And
Absolutely.
before you go doing stuff elsewhere, look to see, who's in your circle, who's in the community that you're in and try to help out your
Absolutely. I
community,
mean,
whether
that's what
that be
this
your
whole thing
fishing
is about.
community
That's what
or
will
just
grow
your
this
neighborhood,
sport. That's what will
So
keep
just
us
try to be a good
going.
person and do the right
Is
thing.
everybody, just help out the little people around you, helping out your local stuff. If you want to go back, listen to this show. I did one with Daryl Burkhart a while ago. I've done them with Aaron Echterkamp, and I'll tell you what, go back and listen to those guys because the way they talk about this industry, the way they talk
Yep.
about ways
Yep.
you can get ahead, it's amazing. And I will tell you, every time, and I mean every time we go to the Pacific Northwest, there is one name up there that stands out to me. And I just have nothing but respect for the man because he stands behind you guys so much, and that is Willie Nelson right there at Nixon Marine. That guy is, I don't know, I didn't know the guy from Adam, when this all started. Didn't know who he was. I was like, Willie Nelson,
Yep.
really? That's his name?
Yep.
Come on. And they're like, yep, that's him. And it's like, okay, so I will tell you, I have never, the first year we were up there, never heard somebody's name called more times than that man right there. Willie, yeah. Yeah, and
Willie
it's
is
never been,
amazing, Ed.
I run his
Willie will
boats or I
do
run it. He will
anything for
do it because he
anybody
does
that
it.
needs help. I
And
mean,
you guys should absolutely
that's
100% behind. Everybody that I've talked to up there has been
nope,
100% just behind this
exactly.
because they love the sport. And if you love this sport and you want to be a part of it and you want it to grow up there where you're at, you want to be up there and
Yep.
say, you know what, you want to say it loud and proud, say, hey, I come from Washington, I'm fishing from Washington, I'm fishing from Idaho, I'm fishing from, you name it, Oregon. Then you have to grow your sport, and to do that, you got to show up and be a proven entity up there and say, no, there's a reason to come up here, and that's because we'll come out, you show up, we'll show up. And that's all I'm asking for anybody up there in the Pacific Northwest to do. We come up, we show up, please come show up, man. I mean, I brought Austin on here for that very reason because this is a guy who shows up, is out there fishing, has the passion for this sport, has the passion for BAM, being a part of it, showing up and going, God, somebody's finally here in our backyard, man. This is where I want to be. I want to stay here. I can do this. I can make a Super 60. I can't say that Mark is ever going to give you a pathway to the Bassmasters Classic, but there is something coming up that Mark's doing. I can't ever remember the name of it. It's because it's only started this year. But there's one back east where they go to. It's the PTT or something like that, and it's a that's a big pro event.
Yeah,
But
I know what you're
Mark
talking
is
about. It's like
also
the
100%
I
trying
forget.
to give
Yeah,
you something
yeah.
out
Which
here.
still though,
It's going to be
that's
for
what
the
I'm saying.
Super
Like
60
it's
right now,
super
but it
cool.
is
Yep.
It's the BAM Classic. The BAM Classic Championship is going to be massive. He's going to grow it into something really big. He's trying really hard to grow it into something big. So if you're listening to this show right now, understand that there are things still to come that you don't know. His mind is out there, turning, doing things, looking at ways to grow this. Don't ever try to look inside of his brain. That's going to hurt you. But I mean, absolutely believe in the way that he's got this thing going and the way he wants it to go. But Austin, we are at the end of this show, man. Thank you so much for coming on here, showing us your passion, showing us your great skills and everything. I can't wait to see you out there see you at Boardman. I know you're going to be out there supporting us, coming up and showing up and being at Tri-Cities, though, right?
Oh yeah, I'll be down there. If I don't come down to watch Ty weigh in, he'll never let me live it down. So yeah, I'll be down there. I don't know if I'll be down there every day, but I'll for sure be down
And
there.
if you're listening to the
Probably,
show, please,
Saturday and
everybody,
Sunday for
I will
sure,
be
or
back on
Friday
the
and
stage,
Sunday.
and I
One
want
of the
to
2
see
days. I'll be there for sure.
500 people standing out there watching this weigh-in. I will be there. I will entertain you the best I can. Love to have you out there. Thanks for tuning into the show. Austin, thanks for doing this thing. And once again, if you didn't learn anything, go back and listen again because you missed it all. So try it. We will see you on our next event. We'll hear you. You'll be hearing us very soon. Tune back in 2 weeks for another great angler.